Hello, everyone. I thought today we'd do an experiment. So I have no idea if this is actually going to work, but I'm trying this from outside. So I don't know if the internet connection is going to be stable enough for this to work. I don't know if we're going to drop this at some point, but I thought it would be really cool to do a practice outside. It's spring here in Colorado. You can hear the birds. So, anyway, we'll see if this works, but I figured it was an experiment worth running. So here's what I'm thinking of doing for today. Today, I want to do a shorter practice. It'll be about 10 minutes. And it's a practice that's really focused on anxiety and irritation. Two things most of us experience a lot of the time in marriage, in life. And the traditional mindfulness approach to anxiety is to say, we're not going to try to change it, we're just going to be with it, we're going to learn how to be friends with it. Today, we're going to kind of go for a different approach, a more yoga style approach, you might say, where we're actually going to try to alter the physiology of the breath to change our experience of irritation or anxiety. And the way we're going to do that is through a very specific breath practice that I'm going to lead you through. So it'll be about 10 minutes, shorter practice, and I hope you enjoy. So, as always, to begin, find a comfortable seat. Close your eyes, or you can leave them open if you'd like. And just take a couple breaths to relax. If your day is anything like mine, it may feel nice just to sit here and do nothing. Nobody to call, no emails to write. You might notice sounds where you are. I'm hearing the sound of birds and an airplane, using sound as a nice anchor to the present moment. And now, once you feel settled in the present moment, we're going to bring our attention to breath. And instead of simply watching the breath, let's begin by creating a breath that starts in the diaphragm or in the stomach. So on the inhale, feel a slight expansion of your stomach. And on the exhale, notice as your stomach falls. Inhale, you feel the rising of the stomach, almost like a wave in the ocean. Exhale, falls. So this diaphragmatic style of breathing is really the first thing that we need to have in place to begin to alter the mind and the nervous system. Remembering to stay relaxed. You never want to force the breath, always relaxed. And now let's bring our attention to lengthening the breath. So if you can, see if you can do a 5-count inhale and a 5-count exhale. Which for most of us is slightly longer than our ordinary breath. Staying relaxed, feeling that wave of expansion and contraction in the stomach, diaphragmatic breathing. And if 5 counts feels like not enough, like you could go more, Feel free to try 6 or 7 or 8. But only if it feels relaxed. So the moment you begin to strain, that's your sign to pull it back a little bit. So now we've got that wave of expansion and contraction happening in the stomach. We've got a 5-count inhale and exhale. Let's add one more piece to this. Which is to focus on that moment where you transition from inhale to exhale or exhale to inhale. And see if you can make that moment an effortless transition with no gap. So just an immediate transition. Many of us have a habit of holding the breath, either at the top of the inhale or the bottom of the exhale, but see if you can just smooth out those transitions. Remaining relaxed. Effortless. And feeling just this immense gratitude for the life that comes into our system, our body, through the breath. The power we have to change our experience simply through changing the way we breathe. So now that you have these 3 parts, the wave of inhale and exhale in the stomach, diaphragmatic breathing, the lengthening of each inhale and exhale, the effortless transition between inhale and exhale, exhale and inhale. There's one more piece you can experiment with if you wish. And that is at the end of your exhale, to just gently pause for 3 to 4 counts. So in the research on breath, they found that there's something about this pause at the end of the exhale that powerfully resets the nervous system. Relaxing the mind. So at the end of the exhale, without any strain or force, you just hang out in that space with no breath, holding. And then long before you need to, come back to the inhale. So if you can, bring your full attention to these moments of the hold. And you might feel a kind of peace, stillness, tranquility. For me, I can begin to feel my neck and my head and various parts of my body relax in that hold. Notice what's there for you. sensations, what's arising for you at the end of that exhale as you hold gently. So let's take another minute or so, staying with this rhythm of the breath, that wave of expansion and contraction in the stomach. Slow inhales and exhales, and that pause at the end of the exhale. If you ever feel tense or anxious in the midst of life, you can try just 3 or 4 of these breaths with that hold, gentle hold at the end of the exhale. It's amazing how that can shift your state mentally, emotionally, physically. It's the power of our breath. So let's do 1 or 2 more of these full, smooth breaths. And then as you complete this final breath, before you open your eyes and come back to your day, wherever you are, just notice if anything's different in your mind, your body, your nervous system. And remember that this is a technique you can come back to anytime. So when you're ready, you can begin to open your eyes, coming back. And thank you everybody for joining on this outdoor journey through the breath. I hope that was helpful, and I hope that's something you experiment with as you go throughout your day when you feel those moments of overwhelm or anxiety or irritation. See you next week.